I think this new monitor that we have here is unique. This is the Gigabyte MO27Q2. Its thin, has a lot of features and an impressively beautiful display with great colors and clarity, and everything goes up to 240Hz too. So in today's video, let's take a look at what this monitor has to offer and if it's worth the price. I also know that there aren't that many reviews for this monitor online because this is one of the first results that I got when I googled this monitor's model number. Alright, let's talk about the panel of the Gigabyte MO27Q2 first. It is a 27-inch QD OLED monitor with a Quad HD resolution, 1440p resolution to be precise, with 16:9 aspect ratio, and it goes up to an impressive 240Hz refresh rate. The first thing that I realized about this monitor is the amazing colors. Out of the box, we are getting 99.82% of sRGB and 98.14% of DCI-P3 color gamut coverage. It even covers 92.41% of Adobe RGB too, if you care about that. The delta E numbers are very low too, and I'm just very impressed by the color reproduction here. I think that we should point out some of the discrepancy on Gigabyte's own website. As you see, the main product page says that this is a QD OLED display. It's written all over the place, but if we go into the spec sheet though, it says OLED. So, is this monitor QD OLED or OLED? Well, there is a clear distinction between the two technologies, so we reached out to Gigabyte to get a clarification. They said that this monitor is indeed using a QD OLED panel. QD OLED is not using red, green, and blue subpixels like traditional OLED displays that we have on our phones, but instead it uses a blue OLED backlight and quantum dots to convert the blue OLED backlight into red and green colors. Because QD works in that way as well, I won't get into those details, so just know that it is using quantum dots to convert the blue OLED backlight into red and green subpixels. Yes. That aside, the brightness on this display though is, I think, a bit iffy because this monitor can only output a maximum of 220 nits in SDR mode. Even for a 27-inch monitor, I'd still say 220 nits is a bit too low. However, this monitor does have a glossy finish instead of a matte finish, so that truly enhances the color and brightness a little bit more, but it is more prone to glare and reflection, so I'd say this is a give and take situation. Gigabyte also claims a whopping 1000 nits in HDR mode, but I can't get it. Seriously, even in HDR mode turned on and selected HDR 1000 color profile, at most I can get is around 250 nits, let alone 1000. Granted, I am using Windows 11 here, and as you all know, Windows 11 isn't exactly the best when it comes to handling HDR. Now, since the monitor is indeed using OLED, or at least partially since the reds and greens are converted by quantum dots, the response time of this monitor is much quicker than having an IPS panel twisting and blocking light from passing through. That said, games can run at a very high refresh rate with very low response time, making it super snappy and enjoyable. Combined with the superb color reproduction from this display, it's honestly one of the most unique gaming experiences that I've gotten so far. Be sure to enable FreeSync Premium Pro on this monitor since it supports it, and that will eliminate screen tearing. Now, since the Gigabyte MO27Q2 is indeed an OLED panel for the backlight, we have to take care of it as burn-in is inevitable. So, to delay the inevitable as much as possible, Gigabyte has built in OLED care features into the firmware itself. We can access them via the OSD menu, but I suggest you to just leave it in default because I think it is already adequate enough. I have to say though, I did realize the pixel shifting happening in front of me as the text just suddenly moved a little. It's not really a big deal, but I just want to point that out. While gaming though, I don't realize the pixel shifting at all. Now, let's take a look at the ports available. This Gigabyte MO27Q2 has quite a lot of ports. However, I do wish for more USB-A ports, and seriously, it is time to switch the USB-B upstream port into a USB-C port now. This monitor also has double HDMI 2.1 ports, and it can support consoles with up to 120Hz refresh rate too. We can't really test this since we don't have any of those consoles, since we are PC gamers. And as for the USB-C port on this monitor, it does support display input as well, and we can connect everything as shown on the screen here. And then we can connect that one USB-C port from the monitor to a laptop or phone, and then we can get keyboard, mouse, and display. However, in typical Gigabyte fashion, the USB-C port can only output a total of 18 watts. Seriously, Gigabyte, it is time to upgrade this USB-C port to support up to 90 watts. It's better to support 140 watts, but hey, 90 watts is a good step forward. Of course, this display also supports KVM as well. Since we have the laptop and desktop hooked up as shown on the screen here, we can then just head into the OSD menu and toggle between the two machines. Then the keyboard, mouse, and display will just switch to the next machine. And this is why I also wish that there are more USB-A ports. I want to hook up more than just my keyboard and mouse, maybe a webcam, an external SSD. We can definitely attach a USB hub to one of those USB-A ports, but it's not really that elegant of a solution. Yeah. Other than that, this monitor's included stand is actually very good. The base is flat and thin, so we can put stuff on it without worrying it sliding off or whatsoever. The stand also has height adjustment, tilt, pivot, and also rotation, but only in the counterclockwise direction. However, it lacks cable management features, so all of the cables are just out and about. Yeah. We can also use a monitor arm if you want to, thanks to the standard 100 by 100mm VESA mount. Now, all things considered, this is actually a very good monitor. For the price though, is a bit high at $700 as far as I can find on Amazon. For us here in Malaysia though, this monitor is a lot more affordable when converted at only 2,599 ringgit Malaysia. Whichever the case may be, I still think that this monitor is actually very worth the price, as it has amazing colors, fast 240Hz refresh rate with low pixel response time thanks to the QD-OLED panel, and also hitting the sweet spot resolution of 1440p. Yet, it works with modern consoles as well. The KVM feature here is a nice bonus, though I am still very disappointed by Gigabyte just being stuck with 18 watts output only. Seriously, it is time to upgrade to at least 90 watts or better yet, 140 watts. And that is all that we have to share with you here in today's video. This is the Gigabyte MO27Q2. It's a great monitor. I love it despite its shortcomings, and do let us know what do you think about this monitor. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video. Remember to like and subscribe. Yay!